Hello guys, in this question we are going to organize qualitative data into tables and charts. Now they already pre-organized it for us by computing the frequencies for each category. So you've got carpool, private, public, other. This is how people travel to work. Why is this data qualitative, first of all? Well, because the values are words, and it wouldn't make sense to add them or subtract them or average them, right? You wouldn't be able to add private plus public. That wouldn't make sense. So this is definitely qualitative data. And we just want to compute relative frequencies for each category. Now, if you had a simple calculator, you would have to add up the frequencies. So you would literally do 4 plus 17 plus 5 plus 7, and then divided each frequency by the total. And it's fine, you can do that, but we have a powerful calculator called Desmos calculator that we are going to use in this question. So right here, where this looks like a page on the top right, you want to click on Desmos graphing calculator and open it in a sidebar. So I like the sidebar option because it hovers over my question, so it's easier for me. I will go ahead and click on the plus sign and insert a table. And I will type the frequencies here, and every time I type enter, and so now I have the frequencies in the first column. I do like to rename it, so I change X1 to capital F for frequency. It's my personal preference. Now I don't want the calculator to graph, so I will just uncheck this little circle. And then what I want in the next column, in the heading, I will type F, then divide. Now divide, if you want to use your keyboard, that's where the question mark is. That's the /, or you can use the keypad and just press on division right here. And then I will type total, open parentheses, capital F. So what that just did is divided everything by the total frequency. If you were to type this separately, you will see that the total in the frequency column is 33. So it just divided each number by 33. You can see what it did, right? Okay. So now we're almost ready to enter, but we do want 3 decimal places because that says that here. And also if you click inside the box, MyOpenMath sometimes tells you also how many decimal places it expects. In this particular case, it says 3 decimal places. So this is called a tip, which tells you what it expects you to enter. So we do want 3 decimal places. How would we do that? Well, if you click right in front of the fraction, you can type the word round. So just make sure that the cursor was blinking in front of the fraction, not on the top or on the bottom. And then open parentheses. And now we want to enter the comma after the fraction. So you want the cursor again to blink in between. And then a comma. And how many decimal places? That would be 3. Okay, so we are ready. And it just does it all at once, which is very simple. Let me just make sure that I'm entering everything correctly. You can also copy paste each individual number in here. That would be another thing. Okay, so looks like that's right. The next question says, what percentage of workers did not travel to work by private means? The easiest thing to do is take a look at the percentage of workers that do travel to work by private means by looking at this number right here. Now that's actually proportion, not percentage. Relative frequency and proportion is really the same thing. We want to convert it to percent by multiplying by 100. So right here, I'm just going to type the number, multiply that by 100. So I know now that 51.5% travel by private means. And because the total is 100, I will just subtract 51.5 from 100, and that would go in here. Now, in terms of graphical display, because this is again a qualitative situation, right? Because again, this data is words, not numbers. We are going to select a bar chart. That's the best, in my opinion, best way to display qualitative data is using a bar chart because it's very easy to tell which category is, let's say, the most frequent. You can visually compare the height of each bar to each other, right? So it's easier to see. Now, some people like 2D pie charts and overall pie charts in general because they look nice. If you do decide to use a 2D pie chart, make sure you select the option that displays the percentages on the chart because sometimes it's harder to see which slice of the pie is different. But never use 3D pie charts because they distort the view. Now, looking at which bar chart corresponds to our data. We just want to compare it to the frequencies. So carefully compare. If you need to, you can click on the little looking glass to make the chart larger. It did just knocked out my Desmos calculator when I did that, but 41757. Okay, so 417.5. This does not look as like a 7. 417. That's not a 5. 417.57. Okay, I think that's this one. 417.57. Yep. Just to confirm it's not this one, right? Because it's not, yeah, that's 6. Okay. So that's it.